Hello, welcome again to another Painting with the Pirate, we'll call it that. Bit of live printing again today with the McTominay, this design here. So this is the design I created for the win of getting Scotland into the World Cup next year. It was the first goal that was scored by Scotland against Denmark. And it was a overhead bicycle kick, so I thought I'd create something to commemorate. I don't know if that's the word. To commemorate the massive achievement of Scotland entering into the World Cup with the best goal that Scotland probably have ever scored, until the last score that Scotland scored from the halfway line. So yeah, it was a good game all over, but created a design just for that. So hopefully we'll get a few of the Tartan Army wearing that going over to America next year. Maybe not considering the prices of all the tickets. So are we working? We are working. So we've got a printing to do today. We've got about 50 t-shirts of the McTominay print, which is just a one colour white, single colour white design. So I've kind of half set up already. I've got the flash dryer on. I'll turn it around and show you there. Flash dryer's on, and the board has been cleaned of lint so we can stick things down onto it. Let's just get a better view there. So we print here. One colour, it's white on a navy blue t-shirt. Pretty straightforward stuff. So just waiting for the heater to dry up. We've got our platen boards a little bit wet from cleaning off the lint. So we'll dry that out so it'll make the board tacky again. I've not added any more glue to this because it was already pretty much glued up before. I was printing hoodies obviously last time, so there's still quite a lot of glue left on it. So I don't need to add any more glue just now, just to let it dry so it'll be tacky enough for the t-shirts to stick. So we'll just do that. So yeah, welcome back again to another Printing with a Pirate. Just decided to come up with that just now. So I might keep it with that. It's basically just, you're just going to be watching someone screen print for the next hour and a half probably. I'll try and come up with things to talk about as we go along. If anybody pops in, has a question, more than welcome to answer it as best as I can. Hopefully you can hear me okay with the microphones this time. It wasn't working the last time, but you should still pick me up on the mic from the actual phone itself. So the last time I was on Instagram, did an Instagram live, which was great. It was fine. A lot of people kind of visiting in and out, but it was a little restrictive after the fact to share it. I wasn't able to download it and share it on Facebook for some reason, so I decided to stick with Facebook Live. That way I can chop it up and put it on other media accounts. So as it's just a one colour, I didn't have a need to include, make sure it clears through, yep. I didn't have the need to include much of the way of registration marks. It's only got a registration mark top and bottom, so that I can get my centre line. And that looks fine, plenty of space there. No, I don't need a valuable manufacturer, I make my own, thank you very much. So I'll tape up the gaps. So I understand that most people will probably be having their lunch, panicking about Christmas shopping. The website is still open if you want a Scottish t-shirt. If you've come to visit, watch me some printing, that's great, thank you very much. Or if you're watching afterwards, hello and thank you very much for spending your time to watch the video. Yeah, I appreciate that not a lot of people will be here live, given that we've only got a week left to Christmas, so not long to get your stockings filled, if that's your thing. There we go. Just taping this up so I don't have any mess when I'm cleaning up. So yeah, these t-shirts went live last week as a pre-order, because obviously I was printing them today. I had said I was printing them yesterday, but other things kind of got in the way to print for that. So we're doing them today. But don't worry, everybody will still get their order in time for Christmas. Make sure you get the right height position. That probably does, that's fine. So we went online last week and had a great response to them, so we're printing up everybody's orders today. And if you still want one, I'll be printing more than what's required. I'll be printing additionals, so that will take us through the next year. But if you still want one, they are still available on the website. Too much ink. Ink all over my hands. So make sure we've got nice, smooth, creamy, thick cream consistency of the ink. That's quite runny, that's quite good. So see, it's just a white and blue, but we'll be hitting it twice, so it'll be a print, flash, print, just so we can get the colour nice and rich and opaque. White can sometimes be a bit translucent if it's only one layer. We'll get quite a lot on this, because it's quite a colour hungry design. Yeah, that's probably enough. We can always add to it later. Make sure I've got no ink on my fingers. And away we go. So we'll do the flood, it's not flash flood, the flood and then pull. Yeah, here we go. Right, so flash it dry and then get another layer on top. So yeah, hopefully we've got our Christmas sorted out. I've still not done any real Christmas shopping. Everybody's getting t-shirts and hoodies and possibly hats. One of the benefits for working for yourself, creating products, is that you can use them as gifts. I've got a few unique colours that are coming through for gifts, so people can enjoy having a one-off special edition, whatever, of one of my designs. That sounds really good. There we go. And that's our first. Make sure my fingers are free of ink. I don't want it to be getting too much mess on these. And there we have it, that's our first one. The McTominay. Lovely overhead kick there. It was some game too. Smashing. And we get fired in. I see Denmark are still upset, because they are technically the better team, but football is funny like that. Scotland have a habit of playing really well against the bigger teams and then doing absolutely guff against the smaller ones. So it'll be an interesting play out to see how we got on against Brazil this time round. So we did rather well the last time we met them, I think. So I know the flash dryer is probably the most boring part of the printing, because it has to wait. Fortunately, I've only got one platen. I've got 8 heads, but one platen. So unfortunately I can only do one t-shirt at a time. But it just means you get to look at my face a little bit longer, because it's a lovely face. So I have to apologise for that. But we can build up to, once I get a bigger space, maybe we'll get to have a bigger printing unit. But right now my garage is it, and it's not the biggest space. So just a quick dry over the ink so we can get 2 layers on top of each other. You just want to kind of build up the ink layers so that there's enough there. So because it's a one colour, we should get through this 50 fairly quickly. As I said, we're only doing the flash, print, flash. No, print, flash, print. That's what we're doing. So it doesn't take too long to print everything. But we'll have to cure it afterwards, but as I said, I'll not I'm not subjected to that, because whilst this may be entirely scintillating to watch, curing is certainly not. It's a bit dull, so we'll not bother with letting you know what's going on with that. So as I say, I always use just water-based inks. I've never used a plastisol ink. I've only ever printed with water-based. I find it easier just for cleaning up. So you're only cleaning up with water rather than having to clean up with chemicals. So it is healthier. It's safer and healthier for the environment. I do have to clean it through a filter though, just because any water that comes out, you still got particles of things that can build up and block your pipes, which I obviously do not want to happen, considering I print from home. So I'm just going to get out of it. Yeah, if I had issues with my pipes, I would be paying for it, I would imagine. So I've also been designing a couple more football related t-shirts and pin badges I've got planned for next year, so get them on the website as soon as they're finished. All Scottish based obviously, hopefully to add a few more even in the new year. What I tend to do with my product cycle is I will print at this time, obviously trying to sell things on the website and do markets and whatnot, but I'll try to create designs from August to December and then have them printed in January, so it gives me a good feedback run into the summer. So when I do my summer events, I have a rough idea of what is more popular than others, so I can prepare more stock levels so that I know going into events, I was like, well, this sells quite well, this sells quite well, so I can have things ready. So I have been doing that for next year. So I have two new redesigns. I'm changing up my Viking beard and my Highland cow, which I have had on the website for 5 or 6 years now. Still sells really well. People are really popular. Like people, Highland cows are just going crazy just now. But I am fed up looking at it, and it has been copied by so many people, and the design has been stolen by multiple people. So I want to just differentiate myself from myself, if that's a thing. So I'm going to create a new version, which I think is more in keeping with what the brand is moving into, because we've changed up our logo a little bit, as you can see from the last live when we were printing the hoodies. So I've got more a minimalist style skull, in the centre is a curious skull. So that's going to be going on more products as well. And the website will be going through a wee bit of an overhaul. Not too much of a difference, but I'll be getting a bit of an update. Just to be in keeping with what we've got going on. Hi Andy, hi Sam, thanks for joining in. So this is me in actual work, Sam. So I know I don't do an awful lot of work. It doesn't appear that I do an awful lot of work at the stalls, but this is the live action stuff. Oh, I'm hoping for a good thing. Hoping you're waiting for someone. Yeah, thanks Andy. Sam, yeah, hopefully you're not having to wait too long, and it's not for yourself. But cheers, Andy. Yeah, I think it might not be quite your colour, I'm afraid, but I'll maybe do some green stuff later. But yeah, so there we go. Look, it's not too bad. I think the Tartan might be happy with that. I think they'll do quite well. Hopefully, other people going to America. But I've got a few more World Cup based designs in the planning and the workboards, so that's what I'll be doing over my Christmas holidays. I don't get holidays, I just work. Who needs a holiday, yeah? That's the problem with working for yourself, is that you kind of have to work for yourself. Yeah, I try not to go with the royal blues. Navies are more, obviously the Scottish saltires, a dark navy. I think think it's called Navy. Is it Navy 300? I think it's called. I think that's the Pantone number. Which is your colour grading for things. But yeah, I think it's a 300. So this isn't far off. It's a French Navy, I believe. So yeah, it's not blue. But there'll be a few designs in black coming, because it's a popular colour to get requested for. Even though it's not the best colour to wear, it washes everybody out. But I might do something a bit more colourful. Generally, with t-shirts that are created, it's like if people are wearing kilts tend to be quite colourful. So you don't want to have something, I mean, some people do, but generally some people don't want to wear something too bright and colourful if they're wearing a colourful kilt. Some people are a bit more extrovert with that, so they do like to have their colours. But generally neutrals work better, I think, with kilts. So that's where you get the rusted colours, or navy blues, browns, greens. They seem to work better. But with the Euros, the Lion Rampant sold really well, and that's bright yellow. So it's just one of the things. People just want something. Either you want something to stand out, or you want something to complement. And I tend to design something to complement the colours that you're wearing. Not to say that I want to design something that will stand out. Sometimes yellow does work quite well. So we're just printing this one colour today, this one design today. Obviously, with it being Christmas time, there's not as much requirement to restock, because I did most of the restocking towards the end of summer. But since I've started doing these videos, since I've started doing these lives, I've certainly been getting a bit more interest in the designs, which has been great. It's one of these things I probably should have done a lot sooner, but I've got a face for radio, probably. So it's not something I've ever really thought of doing. But certainly, I am still looking. I've written a couple of scripts for my YouTube channel, so hopefully I'll be recording those over the next few weeks. Maybe not for Christmas, but certainly in the new year. I'll just keep coming up with ideas, just to have plans ready to go. So we'll be doing a few videos about the brand. Got a few how-tos for how I make my screens. That's been recorded. I still need to do a voiceover for that one. I'm going to do a wee video about why Urban Pirate exists. Not everyone necessarily knows the story of Urban Pirate, so I'm going to tell people about that, what we do, but also just to kind of promote Scotland. So we're doing a little bit of roving reporter, I suppose. We'll be going to some locations, some touristy places, museums, just interesting places to visit, really. And we're doing try and make a wee videos of us visiting these places and tell people about Scotland, why you need to come here. So that'll be all in the new year, so you'll get it when it's cold. When it's cold and it's miserable and you've got nothing else to do other than watch videos online. Because I'm certainly one of those people. Things are not want to work just a little bit chilly. It's not as cold as it was before, but it's still quite cold. I definitely need to get heating put in here. I do have an oil heater, I just don't have it turned on. Try to save some money, don't need it. So after this one, I don't think there'll be any more live printing until the new year, when I start printing up the new design. You never know though, I might have a wee bit of a Christmas rush, which would be nice. There's always a few sales after Christmas as well. People buy a t-shirt, I think, give us a gift. People receive the gift and have a wee look on the website to see what else we've got. There's also gift vouchers available if anyone wants to get a gift voucher. If you see a design, or even if the idea of what I'm kind of creating next, you've got interest, and maybe I'll make something really nice, and I'll Or maybe I maybe don't like anything just now, but I like what he's doing, so maybe I'll be looking for next year. Who knows? You can always get gift vouchers. So we've got gift vouchers, we've got the hoodies, which are brand new, which I'm going to do a video about them, hopefully before Christmas, but I can't see it happening, I'm too lazy. We've got the beanie hats, which have been selling quite well, they were quite popular. With our Christmas market, obviously last week, not last weekend, the weekend before. Weekend before, where there were Christmas markets, which were fine. It's just one of those things. I mean, it wasn't the most busiest of markets, but we did okay at it. It's always good to kind of support these kind of companies that are starting up and going to the Riverside Museum is always good fun. And yeah, we covered with costs and whatnot. It was fine. Not breaking any banks this year, but that seems to be the tale of the year. Certainly not been as busy as it has been previously, but that just means I'm not coming up with the designs that people want more, I guess. Hopefully this year will be different. I'm certainly not one of those that just keeps churning out stuff. I'm not mass producing designs. I'm not having like 15,000 designs and you can pick from one, just because I make them myself, so it's not feasible. And it's not a heat press machine either, it's properly hand printed, hand pulled. It's proper craftsmanship, I think. And you can design something and have it as a transfer, but essentially it's just a glorified sticker, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't work with glorified stickers, I work with actual printed products, and I think it holds better. So yeah, my McTominay design is inspired by vintage programmes. Used to get at football games. I don't know if you still do, it's been a long time since I was at a football game. But you used to give you programmes which give you the players that were on, some interesting statistics, how the game went the previous year or the last time they went, wee facts and figures and things. But obviously the designs were always illustrated in the front with two generic footballers, I would say. I don't know if they were modelled after the actual people, but it was just three illustrations of footballers and generally in the park. So that's where the inspiration comes from. So it's a bit of a mishmash of images. So obviously McTominay and the Danish players for the goal, but the background is Hamden. It's just not that angle of Hamden. So he's a bit out of place. So as long as it goes in the goal, it doesn't really matter where you're standing. Yeah, I don't know if they still do programmes, football games. Quite nice if they did, but I'd imagine it's all going to be all photography, I think, for the front. Just generated graphics. Yeah, infographics would be interesting on, like, what happened the last time the two teams met, or interesting facts and figures, how many times they've played each other. All these kind of things would be quite interesting. But as I say, I've not been in the game in a while, so I don't know what to do that. My tackiness is worn away, so I'll just grab a quick clean, get rid of the lint. As you can see, it's went a little bit blue. So to clean up, I just use old-fashioned water from the tap and a little bit of cloth. This is the kitchen roll. It's actually a bit of a damp kitchen roll just because it's been used already, which actually makes things easier. So there we go, that just takes it all off. It's amazing the build up you get. You don't notice it until it starts blowing away. But the reason you do that is so you don't pull the t-shirt out of position. Generally it's for more than one colour. If you're doing two colours, if it removes the stickiness, the t-shirt can come with the board, the screen rather. So it throws it out of position when you print another colour. But these are there's only one colour print that's on today, so don't need to worry too much about that. But it's good practice, particularly if you're doing a colour layered upon another colour. So everything stays in the same place, so you don't like a ghosting image. It gets a bit hazy, everything's sharp lines. And this has a lot of sharp lines in respect to the crowd. So the crowd I designed had two variants. I had one where it was just like oval shaped faces or hair. I couldn't work out which one was the best option. But in the end I went for a bit of a bald head rather than hair. Just because it gives the impression more of multiple crowds rather than just hairlines or baldies. This is myself. So this, I imagine this will be a very long live session. We do have a few t-shirts to print, but certainly won't be as long as the last one, which was almost 3.5 hours. And God knows who's watching that. I certainly wouldn't. But then people put up videos of paint drying and it gets millions of views, so maybe one day I'll manage to achieve that high expectation for myself. Still, I don't think I'll get millions of views, but if I can get a few thousand, that'd be quite nice. My Riverside Museum did go a bit viral on TikTok. Viral in my terms. I think it reached about 30,000 people, but then who's actually watching it? It's just flicking through the next image. But to get 30,000 impressions is pretty good for a video for someone that's just literally just started. Everything else was kind of sitting around 800, I think. Likewise on Instagram, everyone was going about 800 odds. Should have worn a Santa outfit, shouldn't have? That would have been quite interesting, watching Santa screen print. I think that's an idea, screen printing Santa. That would have been fun. So yeah, I've got a good number of new designs in the works for next year. So hopefully you'll be here for that as well. I'll do some live printing on those. Oddly enough, a lot of designs are orange, a lot of orange designs. Need to come up with something new, but it is my brand colours. I'm going to do something with this cardboard here. It's a bit miserable to look at, so I need to create up something else. Maybe get a wee neon sign to hang. That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Got a new window anyway. That's just a classic old school garage window, which is probably why it's so cold in here. But when it comes to summertime, obviously it will get opened up, so it likes a bit light in. Right now it's just miserable and cold. It's probably, what time is it? It's 1:45, so it's probably getting dark now as well, so there's no point looking out the window at darkness. I've got a heater already, it's just not a very good one, technically. I've got a wee oil heater, and I'll get also the heat from the flash dryer. It warms up eventually. It's on my thick skin, like a human seal. Makes as much noise as one as well. Or maybe a walrus. Maybe more of a walrus. I need to think up games or something to play when I'm doing the flash drying. Seems to be where everything just seems to stop. I'm not a talker. Maybe I should turn this into like a pub quiz. Every time I wang over the flash dryer, I come up with a question. That'd be interesting. I would need to write everything down right enough. Well, I've had a few pre-orders. There's been quite a number. I'm printing, well, I've not quite sold out what I'm printing, but yeah. I got at least 20 odds, I think, which is pretty good for me. But as I say, I'm working on some more designs for next year, football-based designs. I've got one which is a little bit of a cheeky take on It's Coming Home. So obviously England's got It's Coming Home, all that kind of stuff, but I've changed it to It's Coming Down the Road. So I think that might be quite good. So I've already got the works in that. Definitely Scotland, no Scotland, no party. My own version of it anyway. So I'd imagine that's going to get used quite a bit. I don't know what the other slogans are going to be for this year. But I like coming down the road. It seems to be stemming from what they are using for their branding anyway, I think. There's the whole "it's coming" or "we're coming," I think. Which I think is well, given that the official SFA site had the whole song "It's coming down the road" or "we're coming down the road." So yeah, I've got a few ideas. Got to capitalise. And it's been 28 years. And being a Scottish brand, I kind of need to get on board with the fact that we're doing something that we've not done in most of my lifetime. I don't think it was as long as that, right enough. I guess it's just because we had the Euros every now and again. But even then, Scotland aren't really qualifying for the Euros either. Well, the up the road one's good too. Different context, right enough. I do quite like, is this a studenty place? I want to base some stuff off of, I think I said this last time, I want to base some stuff off of Scottish TV shows. So I've got one with lots of Scottish police characters, which I've been sat on about 4 years, I think. So I'm going to work on that. But Burns and Tune the Fat, not so much Still Game because that's getting done to death. But Tune the Fat's obviously where it began. So from that, but Burns and Tune the Fat, Gary Tank Commander as well. Would be quite good. Obviously I have to kind of watch with the whole copyright thing, so I don't want to be treading on anybody's toes, but certainly some of the slogans are good. But yeah, is this a studenty place? I think it's pretty good. But I find it'll be quite niche designs wise. Only certain people will know what it means. Is that a bit fluff? That's okay. A wee bit froof. You get the use. And obviously Here We Go. I've got the design for Here We Go prepped. So I'll maybe get that worked on as well at some point during the year. So yeah, I've got quite a few new designs. It's maybe a wee bit past my era of knowledge. Stanley Baxter. I know of him, but I not necessarily know what he did. Oh, in fact, he just passed away recently, didn't he? Stanley Baxter. Well, there's Scotch and Rye, I suppose, and Absolutely, which no one really remembers. And Naked Video. Naked Video was a good one. The theme tune for Naked Video was brilliant. I remember that when I was a kid. I certainly shouldn't be watching it. Although I probably watched it because of naked in the title for it, so. I don't know what that says about me. There's obviously Rab seen it a bit as well. I want to do a new Willie thing, but it's a bit. It's a bit thingy. Got a feeling DC Thompson would be right down your neck. Can I create something better than that? But if it's something inspired by, I don't know. There's too much choice. As before, we were in touch on the missing mythology and legends and spooky stuff, because Scotland's full of them. tassels and whatnots. Scotch and rye was a growing up favourite, I think. I didn't know the meaning of the name, but you can't beat Ricky Fulton. Ricky Fulton was kind of our Spike Milligan, I think. With the kind of the zaniness anyway. Maybe not as, it was more character zaniness. But I love the chef. The dirty chef. Or the dirty, but was it a chef or a barber? Well, both I think. I think it was the same character, but he just had different jobs. I think he played the chef and then he played the barber. Sharpening his, I remember him, one of the scenes he sharpened his beard trimmer. Beard blade, switchblade, sharpening his switchblade. And he took off the customer's ear, sitting off a table to try and talk to him. That was pretty good. I must have been, I don't know how old would I have been. Must have been about 7 or 8, I think. Really, I was young anyway. It was certainly one of my dad's things. I remember having the VHS tapes. Scotch and rye. So obviously we had Billy Connolly as well, and then you've got the upcoming ones, you've got Frankie Boyle. I'm not too sure if I can get away with some Frankie Boyle quotes on a t-shirt. I'd probably get, well, if you can get cancelled anymore these days, but yeah, I'd imagine it's a very unique clientele. See, this is the fun part. I have to wait for it to dry. And I can't again. Patience is the name of the game. Thankfully I have lots. With most things, I'm not always patient. There we go. Plop that on there. Give my fingers a quick wash. Again, that's the beauty of using water-based inks, is you just need a bit of water. Clean everything off. If that was plastisol, it would be everywhere. Yeah, I don't know if that's the machine or my bones that are creaking like that. I don't. You don't want to hear some of the sounds it creates. Yeah, I think I need a bit of WD-40 on some of my joints. Of the machine, obviously, not me. You're just getting the machine and a lot of heavy breathing from me. This is not as much in the way of effort, but I'm assuming the microphone's working if you can hear a lot more. Oh, close to my mouth anyway. Nice pile of t-shirts there building up at the back. That's definitely over the halfway mark. I'm good, I'm definitely, I've only got 10 left. That was a lot quicker than I thought. That's pretty good. Everybody's going to get their Christmas gifts early, hopefully. If we dance whilst we wait. I'm not much of a dancer, as you can tell. Don't like that. It's the worst thing I like. Yeah, I definitely need to get something to cover this. This looks a bit fake and miserable. I know we got a board, let me just put a board up. Maybe paint it black, get something nice on it. So the reason I move the board out, get that right. The reason I move the screen out of the way is because you don't want the transferable heat to go into to dry the ink already on the screen. That's just a wee technical tip there for anybody that's interested in printing. Don't dry the ink in your screen. So there's the ironic thing that it's starting to feel a bit warmer in here and I'm almost finished. I'll finish printing anyway. I'll cure these guys today and get everybody's order. Place an order for these ready as well. Most likely go in the post tomorrow. which will be Friday. So you'll get it delivered hopefully Saturday, depending on where you are. But it'll be Saturday or Monday, I reckon you'll get your delivery of your new t-shirt to whomever's getting the gifts. Do have a design in mind for Scotland when Scotland beat England the year after England became the World Cup winners. In 1967, Scotland beat England. What was it memory? I remember Hampden Park. I believe it was 3-2. So I'm thinking about doing a design for that as well. It was always in mind, but you know, might be a better time to do it. So like, yeah, Scotland are technically World Cup beaters. Not winners, but World Cup beaters, because they beat the team that won the World Cup. Which I think might be quite good. I mean, you can keep batting on about 1966, but let's just talk about 1967. A better year, in my opinion. Well, this is our last t-shirt for today. So, thanks very much for joining me for this brief one. It's just over an hour. So yeah, thanks for just joining me for the brief printing live, printing with the pirate. And if you've been watching this after the fact, thank you very much for making it to the end. Or if you just skip to the end, that's also absolutely acceptable, because I would probably do the same to see what it is that I've been doing all day. Obviously you can see the actual printing happening as it happens. But if you've got any questions after the fact, if you're watching the video, just pop a wee question in the comments and I'll see if I can answer it for you. If you're interested in other things, if you've got recommendations, any ideas for new designs, you can let me know in the comments. I'll have a look at them, because I've got nothing else to do until Christmas. So yeah, thank you very much for joining in. And I'll show you what we've been printing. So until the next time, I was going to have a Santa hat on, but I've lost it. So this is what we've been printing today. So I know it's back to front, but you can get the idea of it. But yeah, that's today's printing all finished. So thank you very much for joining in. And as I say, if you've skipped to the end, thank you very much for even looking at the video. It's obviously very helpful. I'm now going to go and clean my screen and cure all my t-shirts so I can get these orders out to people and be like a true Santa, a Scottish Santa. I've got the beard, I've kind of got the greyish hair. I just need the red outfit. Maybe next time I'll get that bought and wear the Santa hat. I should probably wear the Santa hat to warm myself up. But the fluffy sleeves can be a bit of an issue. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you again in the next one. Hopefully not too far away. If I don't see you or have a video before Christmas, hopefully you all have a good Christmas. New Year, hug my knee. I might have a wee video before then just to say hello. But certainly you'll be seeing more printing happening in the new year, all the new designs, which will keep you up to date with the Facebook page, all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, now on TikTok and YouTube. Hopefully get some more videos up on YouTube. But yeah, that's us finished for today. So thank you very much for joining us. Website's urbanpirate.scot. T-shirts are still available on there. You've got until Saturday, if you're watching this now. You've got till Saturday for the last orders. I might push it till Monday if you're lucky, but get your orders in early, and hopefully everybody has a nice Christmas. And we'll see you in the new year, if not before. Cheerio!